Hello, listeners. My name is Charles Scott. Here we are again today. This is my son over here on the
Charles Scott
right of
Jr.
me, and we're going to be talking today about some of the things that are happening in the real estate market. As I said before, this is a weekly program in which we come to you from the studio, and we talk about events that are happening in the real estate industry, plus also some of the events that are happening out there with the economy.
And I was going to say, we have to talk about the economy because the economy affects real estate and everything in our lives. If you look at our past episodes, we have plenty of episodes. You watch them on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok. We talk about the economy, talk about world events, because it all plays a factor in what we're doing here.
And you know, if you have not tuned in before, this is your first time. I've been in the real estate industry for over 40 years, and I service all the way from New York all the way up to Hartford and Waterbury, and all the way throughout the entire state of Connecticut, just about. So if you're looking to buy a property, sell a property, or just some advice and wanting to know what your property value is about, give us a call. Telephone numbers there.
Have people call us just for advice. We get a lot of calls. People, how about this? When people call us, one of the questions that I ask, okay, after all those questions, they'll say to me, okay, I got to tell my agent that. You're calling me, you already have an agent, but we have a lot of knowledge that their agent may not have.
Yeah, today we wanted to talk about, last week we had talked about some of the programs that are out there. And, every week we give you a continuation of some of the programs, or first-time home buyer programs, or programs that can assist you in getting yourself into a property. These programs are not permanent programs that last forever.
Yes.
Usually they're funded with money, and then after the money runs out, that doesn't guarantee that the program is always going to be there.
Very true. I was going to say that also. People may say, I'm going to wait for this to change or the market to change. Remember, might be the best time to buy is when you're ready. When you're ready to buy a house, these programs are a great help. We've had help people at least, over 12 people with the Time to Own program. That's a specific program we specialize in. If you have any more questions about that, give us a call. Number's right there.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit more about that, because every week we say time to own, time to own. It's not just words. It's an actual real program in which you can get free money to help you buy a house.
And that's free money. That means it's a grant. That means it basically is forgiven the longer you stay in the house. Unlike some of these programs which are loans you pay back, this one sits on the side, and the longer you stay in the house, the more and more it goes down in the balance.
And I think, how much money is there left
Last
now?
time I checked, there was 19 million, which sounds like a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot of money, but with the demand, that does go down. I think it might last us till maybe mid-spring. We'll see, but hopefully they refund it.
Well, now's a good time because we're heading into the spring.
Yes.
When we're heading into the spring, that means, one of the things that we like is the days are longer, and it's starting to get a little warmer.
Very true.
More importantly, I'd say the most important thing is the days are getting longer. The way it works, I guess, is every day we get an extra minute.
Yep.
So you figure in the next 30 days, we're going to have another 30 minutes.
We got daylight savings time also. So it's a great time to start looking for houses because we go by your schedule. Unlike a lot of agents out here, we're full-time agents. We use our schedule. We wrap it around yours. You got to work at 6 o'clock. We're looking at houses at 7. You got to work at 10 o'clock in the morning. We're looking at houses at 11 a.m. So you want to make sure you're looking at a house when the sun is out. How are you going to look at the roof, the backyard? You want to make sure you see these things before you entertain any type of offers.
Well, luckily also this year we haven't had a lot of snow.
Yes, and knock on wood somewhere.
It means it's easier to travel. You get to see more about the yard, the roof, check everything out because the snow is melting. So it makes it a lot easier when you get out there to look at a particular property.
Very true.
So like I said, give us a call. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is, we're getting a lot of calls from people out there that possibly might have a reverse mortgage.
Yes, yes.
A reverse mortgage is basically, we'll give you like a little overview of it. That you need to call the mortgage company or the bank if you really want to find out more details, because it's a little different for everybody out there. But usually the way it works is that it's for a person that's older, retired, senior citizen. If you basically are, at that age where you want to take it easy and you don't have enough, you haven't saved up enough money, or you don't have really enough money to have those golden retirement years.
Or no one to leave the house to.
Or no one to leave the house to. You do a reverse mortgage. where it's all based on the equity in your house. How much is your house worth? So it's a way of you getting a income you're getting a lump sum or an income every month to supplement your Social Security. And at the end, in the end result, your family can either, if there's enough equity, sell the property, or either just sign the property over to the mortgage company.
Now, that was key what you said. People don't realize that. But in this economy, let's say your reverse mortgage, you took it out 2007, 8, maybe even 10 years ago. The houses have gone up. I'll say a lot of equity has been built. So you might be able to sell a house, pay off the reverse mortgage loan, and still have some type of profit to proceed with another property possibly.
So you can have both worlds. So we just want to let you know that. So if you have done, or if you know of someone who did a reverse mortgage, have them give us a call, and then we could sit down and see if if selling the house makes sense to them, or makes sense to the heirs, whoever is left behind. Because the person that does the reverse mortgage, in some cases, they may end up in a convalescent home, or either in one of the facilities. And I know one of the requirements of the reverse mortgage is that you have to live in the house, or a relative living in the house. And if there's no one to live in the house, the reverse mortgage company is not just going to let the house sit there vacant. So you have to make a decision. It's always better to make a decision on your own than to get forced into a decision.
Exactly.
A lot of people get forced into a decision, and when you get forced into a decision, it's not the best terms for you.
Or people, like I say, we get a lot of calls where maybe someone may have passed away and they didn't realize the house had a reverse mortgage. So they're getting letters that were being addressed to their,
That's a good point.
loved one, and they're like, well, what's this? You mean the house was already sold before they passed away, but they signed it over to me. They quitclaimed it. So how does that work? Give us a call. We've done a lot of situations like that.
We run into a lot of situations.
A lot of situations.
We always, tell people, find out from your parents, find out from the people what their situation is. And I know how it is. Most people out there don't want anybody getting into their business.
Touchy subject. House, the deed, that's a grandma's business.
I don't want, how did you find out? I send letters out. I do direct mail. I send letters out to people all the time, advising them of their rights and advising them of their options that they have. Just like this program here, we give on this program advice. We try to help people, give up people advice, let them know what their options are, and some of the things that can benefit them. We also do that with mailers. We send out a lot of mail, direct mail to different people. And people always, in some cases, call me up and say, "How did you find out about me?" How
about this one? My house is not for sale. We didn't say it was for sale. We were asking you, do you want a free CMA of cost market analysis?
Right, we're not asking you to sell the house.
Yeah.
We just want you to know what your rights are and some of the things that you can do when it gets to the point as to whether you want to sell it. You may not want to sell it. You may want to refinance it. You may want to be able to structure up your property for in the future to go to your children. But that's where we come into the picture. We can help you with all of that as far as letting you know the value of the house. You will need an attorney to structure it and put it together. Your attorney would put all the wording. But what we do is we can start the process and give you an idea of where you stand. But a lot of times, people will call and say, well, how did you find out about me? And then I have to explain to them. They think I personally sent the letter just to that individual.
Oh, yeah, right.
I mean, I explain, well, you're one of 1,000 letters that went out the last month. And, it's embarrassing. I don't even know who they are in most cases, because it's just a name that that the company that I hire to mail the letters out, and the letters go out. So when they call, they think I sent that letter personally just to them. So I tell them, don't take it personal. The letter just went out. If you want the advice, okay. If not, hold on to my letter. In the future, I'd rather be able to give them some good advice than to have someone talk to them, and that person is trying to get them to do or make decisions that's not in their best interest.
Very true.
And that's all it's really about. We're just trying to give them some advice so they can make an intelligent decision.
And they'd be surprised. People, they tell me, I have Zillow in my phone or Redfin. They don't realize those are algorithms. Those are marketing companies. They're not real estate companies. If you want a real CMA, you give me your address. I'll come over. Look at the improvements you did. Maybe you have a jacuzzi tub. Maybe you've done this to the kitchen. Maybe the lower levels finished. Zillow and Redfin, they never been inside your house. They don't know that. Those add value to your house. Maybe your backyard is very nice. You have a wraparound deck. With that CMA that comes from us, we're here in the market every day. We can give you a more accurate portrayal of what your house can be listed for.
Yeah, the other thing is, remember, all the information about your house is public knowledge.
Very true.
Everything about your house is, again, public knowledge, meaning that anyone can pick up the phone, call City Hall, find out what the square footage of your house is, who bought it, what names the property is in, who's on the deed, what your taxes are, when's the last time the taxes were paid, how much.
Took a refinance out.
If you refinance the house, the name of the mortgage company, all of this is public knowledge. A person you could pick up the phone, or your friend or your relative, or I might be getting people in trouble right now, letting the relatives know. You can find out anything about anyone's property just by picking up the phone and calling the City Hall. And if you want a copy of everything, which is a paper copy, you can go to City Hall and they will give you a copy. It usually costs about, $1 a sheet or something like that?
About 50 cents a sheet. You
can go into the city clerk's office and say, there's a property across the street from mine, and I want to find out, I want a copy of the deed. So can you imagine that? The deed that you signed, the deed that you probably can't even find because you can't figure out where it's at. If you lose your deed,
about that?
Guess what? You can go get another copy. But the deed that you signed at the lawyer's office and all the paperwork that you signed at the lawyer's office is all public knowledge, and anyone can go down there and just pay whatever it is and get copies of the deed, the signatures, who signed what. And the reason why, believe it or not, it's not because they want to give it out to everyone. It's to protect you.
It's for your protection.
It's for your protection. When you talk about fraud.
Especially in this day and age with the level of fraud out there, I mean, it's kind of easy to go out there, take some pictures of a house, or how about this? Not even take pictures of the house. Go on another listing, copy and paste those pictures, and let's say you put the house as a FSBO, for sale by owner. You put it out there, people are gonna, let's say you put out there an unreasonable price, a crazy price, like $150,000 for a 3-bedroom. You're gonna get a lot of calls. And let's say you're gonna get that one person who's just so desperate, they've been looking for a house forever. You tell them, give me a $2,000 deposit, I'll make sure it's your house. They might send that money to that person, not realizing it's a scam the whole time. So what happens is, this is public knowledge. Because what if that person, you say to them, prove you own the house, show me the deed. And they won't show it to you. You go to City Hall yourself. You look at the deed, you look at their license, it doesn't match, they don't own the house. So it's for your protection that all this knowledge is public.
What happened just yesterday? I had a person who called me up and he said, Mr. Scott, he said, there's some people outside the house. This is an individual that owns a one-family house. Luckily, his business is nearby, and so he was on his way to his business, and he saw people outside and walking around the house and everything, and they did not, and I have the house on the market, but I don't have any appointment for anybody, and he called me up, and he said, did you send somebody over here? I said, no. So he went over and they talked to them, and they were acting like the owner of the house had them come look at the house. And he says, well, I'm the owner of the house. Then they got up and took off.
Skedaddle, they left. Who knows what that could have been?
And I told him, I said, be careful. I said, don't let anybody in unless you check with me first. Because what someone will do is someone will see that the house may be empty, and they'll put an ad in the paper and say, hey, want to rent this house out? Meet me, first wire me $1,000.
Versus give me a deposit and I'll meet you with the keys.
And I'll meet you over at the house with the keys. So a lot of times it's hard to find an apartment or a house. You send the money and now you will go to the property and the person never shows up.
They never show up, and then the phone number is disconnected. I mean, we get calls like that. They see our for sale sign in the window, and it's they're going there for a rental. So it's like the best they can do is call the police, and the police are going to be limited what they can do with the local city.
Yeah, because it's civil.
Usually it's international crime if they're calling from a different country.
So you got to be really careful.
Very careful.
But getting back to my point, the reason why everything is recorded at City Hall is if you are going to buy a property, you want to know who the owner is, you can go to City Hall or call up and say, who owns that property? Now, if they tell you the owner of the property, and you get to the property and you say, well, who are you? And that person gives you their name or some phony name, you say, well, wait a minute. That's not the name that I have as the owner of the property. Who are you?
Exactly.
So by the lawyer that you hire to do your closing, he goes to City Hall and he gives them the name of your name and all the information about the property. So somebody else, basically, they usually don't do that much research because they just put it out there and see who bites, who sends them money. So everything is for your own protection to make sure that you are recorded as the owner of that particular property.
Correct.
Now, getting back to, like I said, you know, as far as if you're looking to find the value of your property, there's what they call a market analysis, and we're doing quite a few of those
Yeah, I
right
do a
now.
lot of those per week. And you know why I do so many? People don't realize it's free. We're
Hey,
not charging
we're not
for this.
talking-
It
we're not
takes
here
us time
asking
and
for money.
research. It's free. You call me up, give me your address. I mean, if I don't visit your house, give me some pictures of your house, the unique parts, whether it be your kitchen that's been redone, downstairs, or jacuzzi, like I said, in the bathroom, and we'll get you a report to you.
Yeah, and you can't go by what you see on the internet.
Yeah.
You know, what you see on the internet is like, for example, if you're looking to buy a car, and the car is coming, you know, they got these companies now, they put the car up on the truck and they deliver it in your yard.
Yep.
So you're buying a car from California. You look and you see a picture of the car and you look at all of the things and everything, and you know, they give you a price of that particular car. Well, you know, that's not 100% accurate because you don't know what it looks like. You don't know how many dents it's got. You
How does
don't-
it drive?
Does it drive? So you want to know more about that particular property. Same thing, that car. Same thing as if you're
Maybe
selling a
house.
car. If
Yeah,
you're
same
selling a
car.
car, then they want to know more about the car. They want to know what they're paying for. So same thing if you're looking to value your property. What they put on the internet is just comparables. How many square feet is this house? How many square feet is your house? But
many
maybe you
bedrooms?
did things.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe did very unique things. I mean, I did a CMA the other day. They had extra large backyard, extra large deck. Zillow didn't mention any of those things. Those going off by their neighbor's house, what it sold for last year, versus their unique property.
Also, you think about this, your house may be next to a college or a university
Or the hospital.
or a hospital. This will add value to your property because look at how many people at the hospital or the college want to rent or either buy your house and
Very
live in
true.
it because it's close to where they want to live. Could be something as simple as the people down the street want their daughter or son to live near them, so they're willing to pay more money than it really shows on the internet what the property is worth. So what we do is we get an idea, you know, your neighbors, we come sit down, talk to you, who lives in the neighborhood, you know, what kind of neighborhood it is, what's the property on the right of you and the left of you and up the street, what did that property sell for? What's nearby? Do you have a college? Do you have a shopping plaza? You know,
There's also news affects the house too. Be surprised. We've taken offers in on houses. Somebody's aunt Googles the street. Oh, there was a crime there less than a year ago. And they get cold feet, move around the house and stuff like that. So we look at that too.
and you know, what happens is that a lot of things affect the value of your particular property.
Yes.
Some affect the value where the value can go up. Some affect the property where the value can go down. So there's all sorts of things that you have to be aware of with that particular property. And these are some of the things that we do to help you when you're looking to buy that property.
And I was going to tell people with the CMA, because I do a CMA, I give it to you. Remember, I always put it on there, this is how much the value would be if you listed it right now. I mean, people come a year later ready to list it at that price. Remember, it's a whole new market. Maybe the interest rates have gone up, gone down. Maybe there's more of a buyer demand versus a seller demand. So like I said, it's free for a reason because it's always changing. Give me a call 4 months later, we'll do another CMA, see where we stand there.
Yeah, and what's happening, like you said, things change. And,
Yes.
and the buying and selling of a house, just like apartments. You know, the apartment rents are changing out there. You know,
Constantly.
Fairfield County, like, and Bridgeport, we're in Stratford, Connecticut right now. This is where we're recording from. But recently, nationwide, that's all 50 states. What is it? The survey, they put Bridgeport, Fairfield County, New Haven, Waterbury County as the top 4 and 5th properties all across the United States of desirable areas. And Hartford is up there too. Hartford really came up from behind.
Yeah, they did.
And I think that's because Hartford is near Massachusetts and Springfield.
Well, I was also Milford was up there for the best coastal properties. But I tell people, I stress it out. I would send articles to all my clients because it's the entire United States. It's not just Connecticut. So imagine how fortunate Connecticut is that out of the entire United States, we're talking about everybody, California, Hollywood, Orlando, Florida, Las Vegas, they're saying that this state has, 4 out of the 10
We're hot.
most desired places to live. That's amazing. Yeah, we're hot. We're on fire out here. And you can tell that from the people coming into the state.
So this is a desirable area to be as far as real estate is going. One other thing I wanted to mention today, which is, we try to bring to you the hot topics and some of the things that are happening out here in the real world, and some of the things that you as an investor, if you're an investor, or even if you're just a regular homeowner, that will affect and is affecting your values and money in your pocketbook. One of those is insurance.
Oh, yes.
A lot of things.
We could do a whole episode on insurance.
We should.
Property insurance.
We should do another. There's not enough time right now, but what's happening is the insurance, and I don't have to tell everybody out there, look at what's happening in California with all those fires.
Between the fires, the flooding in Florida, right now, I haven't met one homeowner who hasn't said something about their insurance rates, whether being dropped, going up, or a revaluation.
The insurance industry is going through big changes right now.
Very big changes.
How does that affect you? It's funny. A gentleman came to my office, yesterday, and I myself was checking my insurance rates, and he came to the office because he was thinking about selling a 3-family house that he has. And, and I was talking to him, and I was saying, well, there's going to be many things that are going to affect your decision, one of them being insurance. And he said, well, that's why I'm here today. I said, why? What happened? He said, I got dropped by my insurance company, and now the insurance that I have to pay for is costing me a whole lot of money, so I'm thinking about selling the house because all of the expenses, the taxes have went up, the insurance is going up, the water bill is going up.
And let's tell the people that. They don't realize when you get dropped by your insurance, don't think you can have that house with a mortgage without insurance. Your mortgage company's going to be notified. They will find you some insurance, and they're not shopping for the lowest. They don't care. They just want insurance on the property. I protect the asset, which is the house.
And they'll put the insurance on there, and they'll go up on your mortgage payments.
Exactly.
And guess what? If you cry and complain and say, well, I'm not paying the mortgage, then guess what? They have the right to foreclose on you.
Exactly.
Because when you get a mortgage, one of the main requirements on that mortgage is that you make the mortgage payments and you keep insurance on the property.
Keep insurance on the house.
The house burns down, what do they have? So they're very, very strict on whether or not you keep insurance on that particular house.
Very true.
To the point of where the way it works is that if your insurance policy is being canceled, they get first notice, giving them an opportunity to put insurance on the property before it gets canceled. So if you're paying $2,000, they don't care if it costs $5,000. They're going to put insurance on there to protect them.
Exactly.
And the insurance that they put on there will protect them and not protect you.
How about that? They're the beneficiary on that one.
So therefore, insurance is a big issue right now. So even when you're looking as an investor, like we deal with investors that are buying 2-family, 3-family, we tell them all, figure into the cost your insurance.
Yes.
And don't go by the old price, go by what it's going to cost you.
It's got to be the new standards, I would say.
Same thing with what's happening. Let's say you're out there now and you're looking to buy a single-family home. The mortgage company, they don't really know what the value of the insurance and the cost, and they give you an estimate. Well, it's always best, and they always make you get insurance or get a quote at least. Make sure you factor that into your mortgage payment so you have an idea as to what it's going to cost you, because we're finding out that insurance is really affecting a lot of people right now.
And I was going to say, also remember, if you're looking for a house, if it's not with us, because we definitely make sure we check every facet of this house. Remember, you may go to a house that's nowhere near the water, but we're in Fairfield County. The water may be underneath the house. You may need flood insurance on top of your regular insurance, and those rates have gone up dramatically also in comparison to the property insurance. So make sure you be very careful when it comes to looking for particular houses near the water.
So only thing I can say out there is that for everyone out there, make sure you're aware of what your insurance costs are going to be for that particular house. Because what's happening across the country is going to affect all of us. The insurance companies are in business to make a profit. And of course, you know, they cannot just raise rates on their own. They have to get, in many states, there's insurance commissioners that have to approve the rates.
Exactly.
But if they can justify the losses that they're having,
yeah.
then they can get a rate
Between
adjustment.
the lobbyists and lawyers, they find ways to justify it, definitely.
So what we're telling you right now is giving you some ideas so that you, probably things you never even thought about, probably things that your mortgage person never even thought about. And it's all based upon the different areas that you live in, where as to what type of insurance rates that you're going to pay.
Now, we're insurance experts, I say, but give us a call if you have any questions. We can definitely guide you in the right direction. And also, we wanted to mention about that paper everybody's getting right now in the mail also, about the tax assessment.
Oh, the assessment.
People might be confused about that. They may want to call us about that also.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of calls from my previous customers that have purchased properties, and they're getting a letter in the mail saying that you know, the house is being assessed. Every so many years, cities have to do an assessment to get an idea of the value of the properties in their area.
Yes.
And a lot of people think it's a bill. They get that and
They give us a call.
What is this? They'll call me and I'll say, you know, what's the, you know, and there's a lot of fraud out there and they don't know what's going on. So an assessment is where the city wants to find out if you've made any changes to your property. Usually it'll ask you you know, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, you know, have you done any changes to your particular property? They want to make sure that what they have in their city hall records is the same as what you have done to the property.
Exactly.
And that they are charging you accordingly. And then what they do is they use that as a basis for charging you for the taxes.
Very true.
Maybe there's an error when it says on the paper that you have 4 bedrooms, you only got 3 bedrooms. Well, if it was never corrected, you're going to pay taxes at a higher amount than you should.
Correct.
So I just tell everybody to honestly fill out the paperwork, send it back into the city, and that way they figure out what your taxes. That's called a tax assessment.
Yes, we get a lot of calls on
That's
those.
not the bill, that's just the assessment.
Yes.
So therefore, you know, we have talked about a lot today.
We'll do an episode on insurance. That'll be a great episode.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
you said, we're not experts, but I am licensed in insurance also. I concentrate on the
Property
real
and casualty.
estate, but I'm licensed in life insurance, I'm licensed in casualty, and
casualty,
health insurance.
And travel too.
So I do have an insurance license. So I guess next week we'll
continue
maybe
this
we'll
next
talk
week.
about a little bit about
Thank you
that
for
next
tuning
week.
in. But like I said, go back and check out some of the other episodes, and you can get caught up with what we're at right now. You know, it'll be a great 2025.
Until next week, God bless.
Amen.